Keep going. Do the whole pirouette. I'm videotaping. That's how I want you to do the pirouette. Yeah, do that again. Do that again.
Take a better scene. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all about. 561 Music.
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
I'm James.
And how are you doing, James?
I'm great.
Well, thanks for coming and keeping me company today. Hector is not here. He is unwell. So hopefully he gets better soon. It's probably just due to the fact that we were at DragonCon all weekend and it was utter mayhem. So I'm sure he's tired.
About 90,000 people, they said.
Yeah. And we just had an absolute blast. I mean, did you have a good time?
I did.
You know, I had no idea what to expect. I've never been to anything like this before. And I just thought maybe... I thought it would be like nerdier in a bad way, but it was just like everyone was just super chill and nice and friendly, and
Yeah.
you know, and it was like a 4 or 5 day long, like 24-hour rave.
Yes.
Just non-stop, just parties.
The way that it's set up with the hotels and the conference rooms all in the same buildings, so you're just staying above where you're partying and they just run it all night, all day. It's ridiculous.
I know. And I was talking to someone about this earlier, that one of the things I like about it is that if you go to like, you know, I used to go to a lot of like those kind of like sort of actual raves back in the day, and I used to even put them on and stuff. I was really into dance music when I was younger. And one of the elements that you always get is there's always like a bunch of people there who are like shady as all hell, you know, like,
Absolutely.
you know, like drug dealers and just thieves, you know, and like none of those people were really there. It was just
it was just a bunch of people having way too much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
It was a purge. It was a purge. It was like all these people, it's their purge.
Yeah,
they don't kill people. They just go to DragonCon and feel better about themselves.
Yeah, exactly. No, I would definitely go again, and hopefully we'll be invited back to play. It was really, really awesome time. So, it's a shame that Hector couldn't be here to enjoy this with us, but we're going to take a little bit of a look through some pictures from DragonCon. And I believe the first thing on our list is Hector. One of the things I would mention at this point is that if you're listening to this as an audio format, you would probably want to figure out a way to watch it on YouTube, because there's going to be a lot of pictures involved.
Also, Ben and I really don't know what pictures are coming up at all. So
yeah, it's kind of like
going to be a total reveal surprise for us on some of these.
Yeah, it's one of those reaction
We haven't
videos.
even seen like some of these. I think most of these are Hector's.
Yeah.
So we haven't really even seen all of them.
Totally. So one of the things Hector was really into, especially on the last couple of days, was getting people to take pictures with him with his bass. So there's Hector with a big beaming smile on his face, and Elf.
Yeah, that guy was fantastic too. He went up the escalator just like Elf did, and like he was yelling. He was just 100% in character the whole time. Great guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who were really, really giving them all. They're all like that.
Yeah.
It was fun when they didn't break character. I found that pretty tricky to do. I've never tried to actually LARP before.
Yeah.
So I was just, if people would say hello to me, expecting me to kind of like have some kind of like, you know,
Correct response.
yeah, persona. I'd just be like, hello. I just mess it up every time. So here he is with,
The rebel base.
yeah, with the Mandalorian. There were some legit costumes. Look at that. That's
I know. Look at the
immaculate.
shine on that one. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I really want to start. I've got a 3D printer, and something I'm excited about doing is making myself some Star Wars helmets. Here he is with some more Star Wars people. Oh, and there's all of us, actually.
Yeah, this is all of us, and this guy in Chewbacca with the stilts. I mean, he's making the base look like it's small.
Yeah. He had some kind of button inside it that made the sound, I think.
Yeah,
It was
like the
either
mouth
that.
moved, and it was like, Rah!
Yeah. He was great. He's a nice bloke. Wolverine.
Speaking of staying in character, I remember that when Hector was like, "Hey, will you take a picture with my bass real quick?" He was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Just real, like, straight
Just
up.
like, "Fuck you, bub."
Yeah.
And so it was really hysterical because, like, again, fully in character, all these people really stayed it and really nailed it.
Yeah, and those like big muscly dudes, they have a lot of fun because there's a bunch of different characters they can be, like actual superhero
and there's
characters.
such like BA characters.
Yeah, totally. I'm not 100% sure who or what she is, but she does look cool.
I don't either. I really I want to say I asked, but I don't remember what it was. She was nice. She was really cool, and she built that entire thing herself, put it all together. Like, the bridge is backwards. She would kill me for saying. She was like, oh, it was like whole detail, but like literally it's a guitar neck, and she like fashioned the fretboard herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the whole thing is actually, if it actually played, would be amazingly cool. It like
Totally.
It was
Battle Axe. She looks a little bit like the characters that dancing around in the background in Guitar Hero.
That's what I was thinking initially, but then I was like, well, what's with the fangs and the thing then? So maybe it's like there's like a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's some pictures that Hector gave us. And as you can see, there was just loads of people wandering around and looking amazing. If you've ever been to anything like this, you know all about it. But for me, I'm still a little bit like dumbfounded by the awesomeness of it all.
Overwhelmed by a lot of it.
Yeah, man.
It's a lot to take in, because if you've never been to anything like it, there's so much to do and so many like things and people, and like it's just like sensory overload.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go is tons of people, and they're all very wildly dressed. There's people just sitting there in full dress in a corner.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just like, what the heck is that?
And then it's all juxtaposed against this kind of like hotel, you know, so it's like
This like ridiculously nice hotel.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That place was the Marquise, right? Is that what it's called?
It was the
Marriott Marquise, yeah. And it was just apparently that hotel's been in movies and stuff. I can't remember which one, but when you look up through the middle of it, it just goes up and up and up. Amazing place. And that was actually one of the things that was interesting about the whole thing, is the elevators were just like, we spent a lot of time waiting for elevators.
Oh, what a nightmare it is with the elevators, because it's really the only way to get anywhere. And if you have to get somewhere, especially with the instruments and stuff, you're just getting crammed on there as much as possible and hoping that you're going to get there halfway on time. You had to like, that's why it's like you can't really plan time-wise and things to do, because you could be stuck somewhere just because of there's a parade going on and you're not going to get out of there now for a while.
Totally. We had to move all of our stuff around on these kind of dollies, and we were taking them from one hotel to another hotel through these enormous crowds.
Yes.
And it was weirdly fun, actually. It kind of gave us an odd thing to do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And Hector got us access to the freight elevators
in the
back pretty early on, and that helped out a lot, because then at least you were still waiting, but nowhere near as much as you were for the regular elevators in the hotel.
Yeah, totally. So we got
I think it was like 60 floors in that place, 70 floors in that place. It was insane.
It was insane. And just like heaving with people, just like chock block. It was nuts.
At all times.
So I think there's some pictures of me coming up now. Why don't we have a look at that? There I am. So,
Bard Ben. He's so good at this. Ben as a bard was like the best thing ever. He just did it so well. The whole outfit, the hat, the whole thing. Like,
I had a lot of fun with that one. The it's difficult when you're doing these kind of Renaissance type characters, because unless you're careful, you just end up looking like a pirate, and that's just what. You know, if I had taken that hat off, I would have done as well. You have to actually really try hard to not look like a pirate.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably the hardest part of trying to get that kind of a thing for all of us, is to not just end up piratey by accident.
Yeah, totally. And then we've got, there. Okay. So she came over to me. She came over to me like, and I had just completely forgotten I was wearing a tiger outfit. And she was like, and I was like, what? And I looked down at myself, and I was like, oh yeah. And she goes, yeah, idiot. Both tigers. So we posed as tigers. We didn't really speak to her very much. She just wanted a picture with another tiger. A lot of people were calling me Tony the Tiger, which was very irritating. It's Tigger. Thank you very much.
Come on, get it right.
I know, exactly.
It's a very different guy.
Yeah, totally. Here I go.
Tigger. This is him dancing on the pole.
Yeah, hey.
One of the dances.
I have to say that one of the So we were standing around in a group all around this pole, right?
And it's a moving pole. It's like
Yeah.
remote controlled by a person just moving it around the floor so that he just like picks people and starts going toward them.
Yeah, and everyone in that sort of area had been on it. And me, James, and Hector were being really coy. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on the pole. And he did it.
And he did.
And there's something I'd say about all of that is that, you know, I don't drink anymore. And but I was essentially at this week-long 24-hour rave, which is not necessarily the kind of environment you'd think I'd be able to handle. But just because of the kind of people everyone was and the vibe of it all, I didn't feel like out of place. I didn't feel like I was tempted to do anything I didn't want to do. I just had a good time. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about having a good time and enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So this is R2-D2. They had a few droids there, and I think these really good droids are actually from there's these groups you get like
The 501st.
yeah the 501st, and then there's all like the Rebel something, the Rebel Allegiance or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're groups that are affiliated with like Lucasfilm and Disney, and they and it's for people who are just like the pros who go out to events and like, you know, they dress perfectly and it's really difficult to get in. And these droids, I'm pretty sure were part of that.
Yeah, because they had like all of them were there. They
Yeah.
had like BB-8 and all the different ones. They had like a little meetup of all of them in a picture and things. And
It was cool. I didn't see C-3PO though. Did you
no,
see-
not
no.
one. I didn't see one.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to go as, actually.
No, if you're gonna do it, you got to go as the one from
Okay.
from Spaceballs.
So I can't comment on this because I was asleep. So I think you're gonna.
Because he was entirely passed out with his. It was fantastic. This is Ben's position for a lot of driving. It's mind blowing how he can sleep like a dog. But there was one point where we were in the hotel, and I was like, Ben, you're gonna come downstairs, and Ben was so exhausted, and he was like leans on the thing and like the most uncomfortable. That's it. And literally, he was just about like that, but kind of upright when I left. And when Hector went in there, he took this picture, and it literally, I was like, that's exactly how I left him.
I got to tell you, I haven't seen any of these pictures of me asleep, and they are very funny. Yeah, it was a lot. We were so busy, you know. So when I slept, I was just out like a light.
By the third, fourth day, all of us were getting like bouts of like, I'm too exhausted for this. Like
Yeah.
everybody had one or is about to have one at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was just like nonstop. We drove there, then we started, and we were doing things. We went to these events, we went to these parties, and it was just
One of the things that I really love with you is like you will always go, oh yeah, I'll just have like 5 minutes, I'll sit down and then we'll go and do the next thing. He's just boom, just out, and that's it. And I was never going to wake you up either in that situation because it would be so mean. So,
No.
you know. Yeah, but there was always the line. It's just like, yeah, just give me a second. Yeah. And okay, so I think we've got some pictures of James coming up now. There he is.
always eating food. That's all I ever do.
I call that the Brad Pitt. Yeah. So that this is talking of pirates. I brought that pirate hat, so we ended up just kind of leaning into the pirate thing with you and Hector. Didn't
Right. It was easier.
we? Yeah, totally. That's the hat that I used for the what was that event down in Boynton Beach that we played?
It was Pirate Fest.
It's called Pirate
Yeah,
Fest.
it was Pirate Fest.
Yeah.
That was a Fat Ben time frame too. I remember.
Yeah.
You had like a white shirt on,
Yeah.
and you looked whaley in that
Yeah,
one.
it was
dude.
brutal.
Brutal. You were hot and sweaty. It was brutal.
Yeah, that's one of the worst days of my entire life.
It was so bad. It was a hard day for all of us. It was really bad.
And my parents were there. It was a nightmare.
Oh, the twins.
Yeah, here we go. So this is
Sean is Hector's chalking friend.
Yeah,
Been friends for a long
it's
time.
actually Zach.
Or yeah, I don't know why I said Sean.
Oh, I know why, because he has another friend called Sean. It's okay. So that's Zach and Caroline, and they are brother and sister, and they went as twins.
Yeah, though when she came, she went as him.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, check him out. And Zach is just the greatest sport on earth.
Absolutely.
Because not only did they do this hilarious costume and help us with our merch loads, he also did this freaking hilarious Bilbo Baggins dance. And I'm sure at some point we're going to see that or talk about it, but that guy is just a legend.
He gives 110, 150%, end of story. Really nice guy. Ran the merch like a boss the entire time. Look at Ben's ears. I love it. Look at him. Look at him. He's dressed as the Hobbit. Look at how much of a Hobbit that man is. It's amazing.
I know.
He's got the look, the smile, everything.
I'm like a jaundiced elf. I was trying to get it to match with the ears, and I just ended up looking completely yellow. Look at Hector. He looks insane.
I know. That picture is very intense on Hector. His eyes look like just super into all of ours. We look like we haven't slept in a long time.
He looks like an evil chef. Is Zach doing the Bilbo Baggins dance? We learned Bilbo Baggins by Leonard Nimoy.
Ring he stole.
And then he's doing that breakdancing from the Olympics.
I just love this man.
Here he goes.
Look at him.
1, 2, 3. Bilbo Baggins. There he goes.
See, 150%.
He's got the dad strut going on.
And he hadn't practiced with us at all. We said we needed him to do it, and he did it. And what a sport!
I know,
110% right there.
So, and the whole thing was just wonderful because, we always kind of just sort of like have this little sort of friendly thing where he's like, oh, it looks like a Hobbit. And then when he came to go into DragonCon, we were like, oh, please, can you dress up as a Hobbit? And he did.
Yep.
He knows he looks like a Hobbit. Yeah. He has the costume.
He has the full 100% costume that he made himself. That's amazing.
Yeah, totally. He came with it. And then when we learned the Bilbo Baggins song, it was just like, we were all just like, go on, do a dance for us. And he was like, yep, okay. You know,
didn't even question it at all. Just came right out and did it.
Absolute legend. Like you would
stood in front of a ton of people and made a fool of himself with no problem, and I loved it.
Like I would have done that, but I wouldn't have been quite so just yeah, it's fine. You know,
yeah,
I would have done it.
I'd have had a feel on that one for a minute, like yeah. He was like, yep, let's do it.
I love that guy. He's my favorite. All right, so
here we go. This is us as the me as Han Solo, and them two as Jedis.
Yeah,
this fantastic.
This is just pictures
of
the band.
One?
This was day one, yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. The crowds were great. We got to play right before one of the biggest bands at the festival on that day, and it meant that there was a bunch of people there, and they were super cool. Like we were doing all the stuff, like getting people crowd participation and having people to clap along and everything, and they were all really up for it.
It was set up a lot like a library, like the way we felt, because they were like all sitting in front of us on the floor on the carpet.
Yeah,
and we were just playing to them, and they were super engaged. But it felt like
it was like story
time. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Totally.
There's the Star Trek day. Look at that.
Yeah, man, that Star Trek day. Even though it's probably my least involved costume, it was the one I enjoyed the most because it's like, I don't know, I like Star Trek.
It's so fun.
Yeah, totally.
It's such a cult thing. Everybody there, all the other Star Trek people were always like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, we see you. Yeah, it's cool. But I wonder if the fact that we did Star Wars one day and Star Trek the other day means that we did both and now are allowed in neither. Oh. I don't know what the rules are.
No, because we'll just say it as it is. Be like, oh, he's the Star Trek person. He's a Star Wars person. I'm the Star Trek person.
Oh, there you
go. For me, and then
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that.
But don't associate me with him. But he's got to be able to come with me. If we go to a party or something.
So the one thing I think was worth talking about was when we first got there, we played this really weird game called Starship Horizons.
It was amazing. It was supposed to be like a LARP thing. I looked it up, and it was like a live action role play, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Let's all do like a cool live action role play thing together. And it was so poorly explained, and it had potential to be a cool game because it was like you literally got to control a starship on all your little controls with touch panels and things, and it was fun. But they did such a poor explanation of it, and were so not like great at helping it. Like assume, like I think you said, assume that you knew everything about it already.
Yeah, they had this thing where you were meant to watch the the videos. So like they had like training videos, but even the training videos started like 3/4 of the way through. It's like
Yeah.
at no point did they say this is what you're doing, and like.
And this is the goal or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just like this. It just basically just explained your station.
Yeah.
But so dry
You
you
would
couldn't
just-
even pay attention to.
Right, you were just kind of like station on what, station in who. Like it didn't give you the what, where,
It
when,
was
and why.
so funny.
Really odd. But once it got going, it was pretty fun.
It was pretty cool once it got going. The idea of it, again, very sound, very cool. It was just
Very
they
confusing.
didn't execute it 100% amazingly.
I think definitely a little bit more R&D needed in that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was cool though. It was all right. What else did we do that was outside of playing? We went to some parties.
Yep.
They were good, and we met some really nice people.
Well, yeah,
but-
like I know you went to the Walk of Fame.
Oh,
with
that's
Hector,
right,
And walked
we
around
did.
and like saw all the people. Like Danny Trejo was there.
Yeah.
And a bunch of others.
Yeah,
and,
Frodo.
Yeah, all the Lord of the Rings staff. Most of the hobbits were there. Most of the hobbits. There were 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, and Frakes was there, but I didn't see him. So.
Yeah, him. Most of the Next Generation was there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them.
There was a lot of them because they had like a panel for them and for Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Because pretty much all of Lower Decks was there.
I think next time when I go to one of these things, I've got to get to some of those panels. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing I really feel like I missed out on.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun thing too because they really like just watching people over nerd out on it a little bit is really entertaining because they're like,
Totally.
In episode 3, about the 10-minute marker, you made this decision to move to the left side of the bridge. You never do that. Why would you have done that? Why would Kirk have done that? And he's like, I don't know. I was tired.
Have you ever been to anything like that?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
ridiculous
sick.
when they start really they start grilling them about stuff that you're like the science of like Star Trek or Star Wars, and you're just like metachlorians. I don't know, magic, space magic. I don't know.
Sounds
It's like it's an
awesome.
actor. It's not like it's the writer that designed it or anything. It's not like it's what's his name? Lucas or anything.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
It's the actor who just played the part. You
I
know,
know,
they
yeah,
don't really
it's-
know why the warp drive. How it works.
Exactly. They just got lines delivered every morning. Read that. That's really funny. I bet at this point, decades into having done all of this stuff, that I'm sure they do.
Oh, they have to
quite a
know
lot
it now because they otherwise people would kill them.
Yeah,
They
totally.
just roast them on the panel.
So there's a few like honourable mentions of musicians I think that we should do. There was Landlocked, who were they were an Irish band. And they were really good.
Oh, and Kraken's Release. That was
Kraken's
the other
Release.
one that we couldn't think of.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt from them. They were really good.
Yeah, they were really cool.
And that Kraken's Release were kind of that kind of thing too. They were shanties and stuff like that.
They were fun. They were nice.
Yeah.
They were really nice people. I talked to them for a while afterwards.
Yeah.
Down at the table, and they were just really nice guys. Wanted to get together and get to do some other shows and things like
Totally.
that. So it was nice.
Kraken's Release is a pretty funny name, though, I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely.
And then Beth Patterson, who was
My favorite.
just incredible.
Yeah, she was my favorite of all of them. She was
Yeah.
an amazing musician, really, really cool. She had like a really good quirky weirdness to her
Yeah.
songs that were like really powery and awesome, but like not cheesy and stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
And I, for some reason, I was talking to her and I just way over egged the pudding. I was like, you play the bouzouki like a motherfucker. And I was like, oh no, because she's sort of like a nice middle-aged lady and she's kind of quite well to do and well put together. And I was just like, why did I say like a motherfucker?
It's fine though because she swore like a sailor too. It wasn't like it was a problem in any way. Like,
Yeah,
she
you're
was like, she was like, thank you.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, she was really, really cool and really, really like super talented. It was really nice to watch her play and like on time. I love when a musician like is just on time the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like every note is right where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Very nice.
She nailed it. I'm going to listen to her outside of,
Absolutely.
outside
I'm
of
definitely going to follow her.
that. Some killer lines in there and everything. And she also knew my uncle and my uncle's band back in England and a few different people that I know from that, which is really cool. That was real folk. It was like the kind of folk that those in the know is real folk kind of thing. It was good stuff. It wasn't just kind of knocking out like, standards and stuff. She was really killing it.
Yeah.
And then the other band that I wanted to mention was Charming Disaster. They were great.
They were fun. They were like a gypsy sideshow pair.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
run like a whole thing, and they pull the cards out, and the cards pick which songs they play, and they put them on the thing, and they do. It's really good presentation, super fun.
Yeah.
The girl was just over the top actor. She's running through the crowd screaming and crab. It was really awesome. Fun.
Yeah, totally. What was that song they had? Baba. What's that word for like witch? Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a Baba Yaga song.
Yeah.
They were going to like, whoo, Baba Yaga, whoo, and she was like running around the crowd.
Yeah, it was so over the top. It was great.
Yeah,
It was
totally.
great. It was really cool. For the two of them, it was a really amazing presentation because it was a nice full sound.
Yeah.
Even though it was like the ukulele and the guitar, and he just had like a kick, and she just had cymbals.
Yeah.
There was a lot missing from it, but it was a lot of fullness for just how like all the brightness they had in all those instruments. There was still like a lot
absolutely.
of body in the whole thing, so it was nice.
The people who ran our stage were the first musicians to ever do DragonCon, and they'd retired now, but they were talking to
Really?
they were talking to us about it in the back. They were like the original DragonCon band, which is kind of cool. You know, they just kept it going. They started off, and then they kept it going for all of us. And their band had got to do loads of amazing things. They made friends with like the Lord of the Rings people, and they went to New Zealand to do a gig and all this stuff.
That's awesome.
I know, which is just like we have to play every DragonCon now. It's just in case that happens for us.
Just in case we can go to New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, if anyone from DragonCon is watching this, thank you so much for having us. We had an absolute
It was a ton of fun.
We had a laugh riot, man. It's one of the... I was just so ready for something different, and a change is as good as the rest. I came away from that really refreshed, and I had a blast. So we're going to take... Before we get out of here, we're going to take a look at some other people's costumes.
I didn't see those.
Who
Those
are they again?
Those are
Oh, God, I can't even remember what it is.
I can't remember.
Oh, well, they're funny, though.
I love them. I love the feet.
There he is, Shake.
I love Shake.
Master Shake. Yeah,
That reminds me of like a Karate Kid costume. I remember when he was the shower. It kind of has like the same feel as like the shower costume. In the original Karate Kid.
No, that's awesome, though. And there you go.
Good Lord.
I'm a Warhammer 40,000 fan, especially when I was young. And just to come as an ultramarine like that, I really want to do that next time. He was huge. He was like towering like 9-10 feet tall. He was so awesome.
Yeah, you can tell. Look how little his head looks compared to the armor.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't do it justice, that picture, how big he was. He was just ginormous. He looked exactly right.
Well, yeah, you can kind of tell because those are like 12-foot ceilings,
Yeah.
maybe more, and he's pretty up there in it.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is a little girl in the back that's like,
There is a little girl in the back who's just
like
going
freaking
yeah,
out
that was
about
Justin
this
who
Marine.
pointed it out, and that is hilarious. It's like he looked so cool, man. He looked like he could just destroy you with one punch.
I know, it was just amazing. It was very nicely done. I can't even imagine the hours of work that was put into that.
Totally, man. So this one, she got this from I can't remember the name of the company. It's something like, it's not DreamWorks, but it's something like that, and where they make models for TV and movies.
Right.
And that thing was...
So it was like a professionally made one for
Yeah.
yeah.
And look at that thing. It's absolutely
insane.
terrifying. It looked real. In person, it looked real. It was
It
crazy.
did. It moved really creepily too. Like the movement in the dummy part of it was intense.
It was horrible. There you go.
This one here, the cop
Cop
I don't know,
frog.
Cop frog. I
Cop
don't know.
Kermit.
I can't with the M16 and like the whole thing. Like what? Some of these costumes you don't even understand that like they're such mashups or just the most random thing they can come up with.
Totally.
And it, like I give props to the people that just come up with the most random things.
Every now and again, there'd be someone who was like sort of an army-related thing, and you'd see them, and you'd be like, "Oh God, is that really so?" Like every now and again, I'd be like, "Is that like armed police?" Like
Yeah, there was a lot of the ones that looked like cops but
Yeah.
weren't cops.
Yeah, yeah.
There was one guy that I saw while I was running around that had he had the full metal jacket get up from the photographer.
Oh,
and he was
yeah,
running
yeah.
around with a Polaroid and taking Polaroids with everything. He had like the cigarette and they had like the whole Vietnam thing and it was cool.
And he gave you a Polaroid. of you
Yeah,
and
I
him,
got a
didn't he?
Polaroid of that one. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that was
cool.
really cool. There's this one thing they do there where you get like these ribbons if you meet like a certain person. And one of the things that people try and do is get the most ribbons. And so if you go to a panel, or if you meet like someone who's a kind of part of the con, or one of the official people, or you go to one of the games or stuff like that, you get a ribbon. So next year we're going to make sure we come with some ribbons, because it's pretty fun and everyone attaches them to their pass. I actually think I have my pass with me, but I never attached ribbons to my one because I don't know why I didn't. But here's my pass. DragonCon. We put our we put our like rock names on them instead of our real names. So I was Babyface on there, and James was Rattling Balls, and Hector was Thunder Goose. Hector wins the Killbillies band names, I have to say.
Oh yeah, until I remember yours again.
Oh yeah. That's the hopefully that. So James,
I thought of an amazing nickname for Ben on stage, and I forgot it.
Yeah,
and it was amazing and terrible all in one shot. It was perfect, and I can't remember it, but Ben remembers it, and he won't tell me. He will not, until I remember it. It's not going to happen, but it will. Thunder Goose will lose eventually when I bring out the new one.
I'm really, really hoping that we get through the next tour before you figure it out. Listen, this weekend, what we have coming up is we're playing a Kilted Mermaid, and I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, we don't have a lot.
It's a very quiet weekend for us.
Yeah,
it's good because I need to catch up.
Yeah, totally. And then that's really it. I think we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our DragonCon adventures. It was we had a blast, and I hope it brought you a little bit of a smile and laughter taking a look at some of those pictures too.
It made me smile.
See ya. On Friday, September 6th and Saturday, September 7th, West Palm Beach is hosting the 8th annual Bumblefest, and such bands as Dion Lunadon, World Destroyers, Pleasure Club, Psychic Death, Dream Phases, Star Cleaner Reunion, Fiona Moonchild, She He, Force Ghost, Akasha System, Low Fives, Isya, Baby Deluxe, Sishak, American Dream Survivors, a favourite of mine, Zipper and Kenny Moe, Severed and Said, and Justin Depth will be playing. A lot of these acts are absolutely fantastic, and Steve Ruhlman does a fantastic job of this festival, and we are very proud to be co-sponsors of the event. So please get down to Bumblefest. It's always a good time. The previous 7 have been fantastic, so but by any account, the 8th should be just as good. All right, let's get down to that. September 6th and September 7th in West Palm Beach, Bumblefest. Oasis Kava Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indiantown Rd, and it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing, and some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Route. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band Unemployed Youth accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there.